talents and interests there, sort of like the Wintrust Business Lunch. It seems like these days we're really giving ourselves an education in how our world works. You know, I think maybe we were taking it for granted that food gets to the grocery store and that medical supplies get delivered and that we all seem to function well, but it's so many things that are making that happen. Here's another example of that. Pete Voss is on a phone line. Welcome to the Wintrust Business Lunch. Pete, how are you today?
Good. How are you, John? Nice to be with you.
It's our pleasure, sir. You are with Voss Equipment, right?
That's correct.
And so you guys are based in Chicago. How long have you been in the Chicago area, right?
That's correct. We started in 1934, and we're located in Harvey in the south suburbs, but we service the Chicago area and the northwest Indiana area.
If I see one of these giant warehouses loading pallets of groceries or items, there's probably a forklift, and it was probably a forklift that you sold to that warehouse, right?
Well, hopefully so. I mean, if you see the dock doors lined up and the tractor trailers backing in, most likely there's a forklift that's unloading or loading, and we are fortunate to have a large distribution network around the Chicago area that we service, and that's what also makes us an essential business to help the supply chain keep flowing and service the grocery stores and the Walmarts and the Targets and all the big places.
Yeah. VossEquipment.com is your website, so you're in the material handling business. Well, then, are you all somewhat insulated from this? I mean, there's a downturn, but people are still buying groceries and some goods. How are things going for you guys?
Well, that's right. You know, we are a little slow. We're about 25% down in our service, our field service and shop repair services, but it's not too terrible. You know, we're hoping things come back around, but we have quite a few companies are actually busier and are really going fast to supply the stores, and you know, some of the manufacturers are still working pretty well. So you know, we're getting through it, and you know, we're hoping for the best.
Can you describe your business in terms of employees or annual sales for us?
Sure. We're 98 employees. We do about $30 million in sales, and the sales figures can sound really big because the stuff costs so much, but you know, we've got a good group of employees, got good managers, salespeople, and technicians, and that's what really is the heart of our business.
Yeah. So how many people are still working, Pete? What have you had to do?
You know, we have cut back some, and we have not laid anybody off, and our intention is to get through this period without a layoff. And, you know, we're trying everything we can to be creative and think of, you know, ways to employ all of our employees. And so far, we're doing it.
I'm sorry, but you said you've had to do some cutbacks, but then you haven't laid anybody off. Is it fewer hours, or are you asking people to take pay cuts? I mean, what's really happening there?
Yes, we've taken some of our management group and taken their pay down some, and reduced hours, of course, reduced overtime, and you know, we will do what we have to do, but you know, we really feel that if we can keep our employees on, that's, you know, what our obligation is.
Yeah. So many companies are literally doing that. Just all of the sudden, one day you were doing business, and the next day,
right,
sales are off 25%, and you're figuring out, okay, do we lay people off? Do we furlough people?
Right.
Do we take pay cuts? So you
right.
just have to sit there and kind of cobble it together, huh?
Correct. Well, you know, a lot of things happened right when the governor made the stay-at-home order. Some of our employees had, you know, young children with no daycare options, so they immediately had to work from home. So we're setting people up to work from home as best we can. And the biggest thing is our technicians that are out in the field making repairs. We're still keeping busy. There's still enough people with broke-down forklifts that need them fixed to keep their operations running.
I've always wanted to operate a forklift. That looks, I hate to say fun, but it For a person who's never had to do work like that, it looks like fun to me.
Yep, that's what people tell me. They are fun to drive. However, no one thinks that they weigh about 3 times as much as your car does.
Really?
So if you bump into something, you can cause big-time damage.
Yeah. I guess, so repairs, you talked about your technicians. I mean, you're not manufacturing these things. You're a distributor. What's the name on the side of them besides Voss?
Correct.
Does John Deere or Caterpillar make these? Who makes these things?
No, we're a Yale forklift distributor. My grandfather became an engineer for the manufacturer back in early 30s, and then became a distributor in 1934.
You know, we visited with the CEO of Portillo's here on the Wintrust Business Lunch earlier this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, we're 25% off, and we're really happy about that. And then he said,
Yep.
I can't believe I'm happy about suddenly being off 25%. It's the same number you quoted, but I think both of you are optimistic that you're going to get through this.
I sure hope so. You know, I just hope that as we get through this next period and business comes back, I think that it will. I'm a positive person, and I believe it will come back strong because we were in such good economic shape before this happened. All the indicators were, facing the right direction. So I would sure think that we get through this next 2 or 3 months, and things will be much better.
Another business voice on the Wintrust Business Lunch, and a positive one from Pete Voss, VossEquipment.com. Nice to talk to you, Pete. Have a good weekend. Our best to everybody over there.
Thank you, John. You too.
Yeah, you have a good day. It's 12:57. WGN Radio News. Right around the corner, you'll hear Steve Bertrand and Anna DeVlantis. It's all coming up.